Hello again. So, I've now had the two guitars, the Lava Genie Sampler Guitar and the Enya Cyber-G backing guitar now for a few months. The Lava Genie I've had a lot longer than the Enya Cyber-G. Having said that, as a busy working man, I probably still only had 10-12 hours to actually play on the things. So I've done a video sort of comparing them, and now what I wanted to do is use my own personal opinion, that's what it is, to decide which one is best. And before you get too far into the video, neither of them. I have scored them, so I've got a little sheet here to go through the criteria that I've used, but the reality is they're slightly different and they're probably aimed at slightly different people. So I'll go through the checklist. So I've used three criteria. So the first one, which is primary for me, ease of use. As you know, if you see my other videos, I've never played a guitar until I picked up the Lava Genie. And I was so impressed with the Lava Genie, I thought I'd have a go at the Enya Cyber-G. So ease of use. The Lava Genie has a large song library. It's very good, but there is, if you want to use it properly, a subscription to pay. So just bear that in mind. It's not a lot, £40 a year or thereabouts, £50 depending on what you do. There are certain limitations. I'm not going to dwell on it. If you want to know more about it, go to the Lava Genie website and check it out. The app is very good, I have to say. Not only like this, the Enya Cyber-G, it gives you the lyrics. It also gives you the timing, so it shows you when you're supposed to tap the fret or push the button. And I find that guidance is better on the Lava Genie app than on the Cyber-G app, personally. And for me as a beginner, that is kind of useful. So I've pretty much picked up, they give them gradings, so the level 1 is the basic sort of songs on the app. I've pretty much picked up how to play most of those on the Lava Genie. I am, if I'm honest, struggling to do the same on the Cyber-G. Having said that, the Cyber-G doesn't yet, I'm not sure if it will, but it doesn't yet have a subscription, so got to bear that in mind. The biggie for me, if you've seen the other videos with the Lava Genie, that has lights, same as the Enya Cyber-G. They've both got lights on the frets, but with the Lava Genie, they're at the top. So when I'm looking down at the guitar, I can actually see them. Well, on the Cyber-G, they're at the front. So unless you tilt it up towards you, which is obviously not how a guitar should be played, it's quite difficult to actually see. And I found myself struggling to the point where, as you'll see in one of the other videos, I actually tipped it up almost like a piano to play it, which is not ideal, but it works. And of course, again, if you look at the other videos I've done, the Lava Genie has two buttons that you use as your primary swap between the two instruments in the main, plus the frets, of course. There are other buttons underneath, 3 of those for something called creative mode, but I haven't delved into that yet, I haven't had time. So that's how I see the Lava Genie stacking up with the Cyber-G. The Cyber-G, in fairness, has got a growing library. It doesn't quite, as I say, give you the same sort of guidance. There is a steeper learning curve. Now that's the thing that you've got to understand. Couple of buttons and a fret on the Lava Genie. In fairness, you can disable the ability to play the keyboard separately, but I kind of think that defeats the object of buying the Cyber-G, to be honest, because it gives you that much more flexibility. So there's a steeper learning curve if you want to learn how to play the Enya Cyber-G properly. That's using the fret and the keyboard. And as I say, the frets at the front, not good in my opinion, so a design flaw personally. So round 1, ease of use, winner most definitely for me as a newbie, definitely the Lava Genie. Much easier to pick up, much easier to learn for a complete newbie. So criteria number 2, sound quality. So the Lava Genie is a sampler guitar. So the sounds are sampled And if I'm honest, they do sound what I would say is a little artificial. That said, it gives you a great deal of flexibility. I mean, there's so many different sounds available, but some people have criticised the sound as being, I think they're saying MP3-ish, but yeah, they're not maybe quite as versatile. The inbuilt sound on the Lava Genie is good, but it isn't. It could be better, if I'm honest. Could be better, but never mind. So on the Cyber-G, okay, there's not as many sounds. I mean, you get 20 sounds on the keyboard itself, plus a few others, but they sound much more realistic. I mean, it sounds to me like you're playing a proper guitar when you play the Cyber-G, as opposed to the Lava Genie to some extent. So for me, I like the fact that they're more realistic, even though they're harder to actually maybe play. Also, with the Enya Cyber-G on spec, they've both got 20-watt speakers plus other speakers with them. One is 10 watts on the Cyber-G. Please check the specs to make certain I'm saying right. And it's 12 watts on the Lava Genie. So you would expect the Lava Genie to be a little louder, perhaps. Personally, and it's again my personal opinion, I prefer the sound quality of the Enya Cyber-G over the Lava Genie. But again, that's my own personal opinion. So again, make up your own mind. If you've got one or the other, that's fine, but I personally prefer it. So round two, the sound quality, I'm going to give to the Enya Cyber-G. There's not a lot between them, if I'm honest. There's not a lot, but again, it's my preference. So the third one I've scored on is the expandability, even the flexibility of the two systems. Now, the Lava Genie hasn't been out as long, so you've got to bear that in mind. I got it on Kickstarter, so it was a new product. But there aren't really any peripherals available. I mean, they've shown images of a microphone. I did manage to get a cable to plug it into my amp, but that's as far as I've got so far. And also, when I plug my headphones into the bigger of the two jacks, not the 3.5 but the other one, using an adapter, I've only got it out of one ear. I know there's different adapters. I've tried half a dozen. I couldn't do that. With regards to the Cyber-G, as soon as I plugged my headphones in, I got it perfectly working. Granted, I've now bought myself a wireless headphones, but nonetheless, it works straight out the pack. Also, they've got peripherals. So, for example, they have a, just about see that, that's a wireless headphone wireless microphone, and it works. It just goes straight in, pair it up, and away you go. So that's one thing that isn't there. Also, if you don't want to get on with the keyboard as much, or you can't get on with it, you can swap it out. So this thing's called a pick module, and it makes things easier. You've just got one button to flip, so it's almost like the two buttons on the Lava Genie. This acts like your keyboard. You can go along and strum for it. Incidentally, the keyboard itself, the one that comes with it, at least if you buy it in this configuration, you can actually use that separately. It's got a USB charging port on it, and you can use it through Bluetooth as a MIDI controller, for example. So again, much more flexibility. And recently I bought this thing. This is a foot pedal, and basically it's a bit fiddly to set up because the instructions were not in English. But in fairness, both Lava Genie and the Enya support companies have been brilliant. They've got back to me anytime I've got a query. This thing's got 4 buttons, and it lets you do a variety of things. For example, pushing a couple of buttons will get your drums working, so you can do that as a foot pedal. So again, a lot more flexibility with regards to what you can add to it. Got to bear in mind, it's going to add cost to it, so just bear that in mind. And it can also, the Enya Cyber-G can also be used as a Bluetooth speaker, which I've proved play things through it. And I actually, although the app isn't as easy to use on the Enya Cyber-G as it is on the Lava Genie, one feature I did find really good is if you slide from the right to it, there's a button that lets you record. So it uses your phone or your tablet, works on both. The Lava Genie doesn't always work on a tablet very well, but on the Enya Cyber-G, the app will actually use the camera on your phone or your tablet to record you. It overlays the app so you can see the app while you're being recorded. So that gives you a good way of practicing, I find. So I'm going to give round 3 to the Enya Cyber-G. So on paper, on my scores alone, the Enya Cyber-G would be the preferred of the 2 devices. But, and it's a big but, only if you're willing to put a bit of a learning curve in to learn how to play it properly. And you can live with the limitations of not having all of that, all of those sounds and other capabilities. If I'm honest, if someone said to me, would you recommend one or the other for a complete beginner like myself when I first started, I'd have to still go with the Lava Genie. It is by far the easiest to learn from my perspective, from what I've learned so far. But I've only had, 10, 12 hours to get on and use these things. So I'll come back with a more in-depth review. I'm also hoping to lend both of these guitars to a guitarist to see what they think from a professional perspective. But that's it. Take what I've said as a pinch of salt. We all have different wishes and different capabilities, and as I say, if I wasn't working and I was retired, which I hopefully will be doing in the next year or so, then I might have had a different opinion because I would have had the time to actually spend on it. That's it, enough waffle from me. I love both of them. I'm definitely not getting rid of either of them, and I will definitely persevere and try to get to grips more with the Enya Cyber-G. So look out for a potential new video. The other thing, of course, is wireless microphone helps if you can actually sing, which I can't. So maybe singing lessons when I retire. I don't know. That's it. Thanks again for watching the channel, and good luck with whatever you get, and enjoy it. Bye for now.